When you download and extract the API code example archive, you must expand it and edit the connection.js file that is found in the common.js folder. Change the default server address to point to your instance of FirstClass Web Services. There are 5 examples that you can review. Code Sampler is the first one we'll look at, followed by Navigation, Mailbox, Form Field Updates, and Move. Each example contains an HTML, JavaScript, and CSS file, and all share common JavaScript from the common.js directory, and images from the images directory. The Code Sampler tool has been created to demonstrate how a request is formed and how one might choose to represent the returned JSON to end users. Code Samplers provides developers with a look behind the scenes as to what is going on when calls are made to the API. This is how it works. There are 4 sections to the tool. The first section is where you make a selection for what you want to do. The first thing, of course, is to authenticate, so we enter our user ID and password and choose whether or not we want to log in using a clear text or encrypted password. I'll choose the encrypted password and log in. All requests to the FirstClass web server for data retrieval from and storage to the FirstClass server are done using HTTP GET or POST requests. Upon logging in, you'll see in the second pane the request that is sent to the server. Responses are returned as JSON data encoded in UTF-8. The third pane displays the results, which is returned by the server. It is up to the web developer to then parse this data and display it in their own web pages as they see fit. The final pane displays just an example of how that data may be displayed. To assist developers, some common requests and posts are provided as examples. You can also use the API Inspector tool, as we have seen in earlier videos, to submit the same requests. The API DevDocs tool will provide the query parameters for you. In this example, should you request to present a list of all containers on the user's desktop, you can retrieve the entire desktop and parse the data accordingly. The request is displayed here, but as indicated, the desktop contains more than just containers, so the returned JSON has been filtered and displays just the containers and other information like unread items and community owners. The same request for desktop containers can also be filtered to just show people you follow and whether or not they have any blog updates. Another example of an HTTP GET request is retrieving the pulse or unread mail or your daily events. Going back to the pulse, we can see how the returned JSON data has been parsed and rendered in the browser. The actual status or pulse update is a base 64 encoded string. An example of an HTTP post would be creating a new conference or changing a password or updating your status. Here we see that updating the status sends a JSON object to the server. A non-error response signifies success. Checking the pulse once more shows that indeed the post was successful. The Code Sampler tool is simply an HTML page that uses CSS, JavaScript, and the jQuery library to manage the requests and display the data. Web developers will be able to investigate and trace through the code to see how the API documentation was used to create the tool and thus create their own unique solutions for interacting with FirstClass in their own solutions. Some other code examples available to you are the drill-down navigation. This example logs you in immediately and presents you with your desktop or home screen. From here you can drill down and view the contents of any of the containers. For example, we can open the Open Cafe community and drill down and open one of the posts. The mailbox example is similar to the drill-down navigation example we just reviewed. In this case, however, we start right at the user's mailbox. Navigation is similar in that we can drill down into subcontainers and open messages and return in our navigation path. With the form field and creation example, the application starts by setting your Documents folder as the default target for creating a new document, though we could change that. It allows us to create a form in that container, so let's do it. Let's create one called Codeathon. The response indicates that it has been created. Let's update a field on the form. We name the form. We pick a value we want to update, so let's pick a random number over 1,000, like 1,099, and update it with this text. Again, the response indicates that it's been successful. Let's see if we can retrieve that value. From the form named Codeathon, let's retrieve field 1099, success. Finally, let's look at the moving items example. Here we get to specify a source container, the name of a document, and a destination container. So let's move our Codeathon document from the Documents folder to another folder I know that I have on my desktop called Recycle. As I enter my container and document names, we see that the web ID is found and presented. These IDs, as you will see from the documentation, are required to send the correct JSON string to the server. When I click on Move File, the move is confirmed. Like the Code Sampler application, the source code is available to you. After watching this video series, and with the tools and examples provided, I hope that you'll be able to start building your own solutions that take advantage of the FirstClass API.